Today, the vision I see for our Cowichan Tribes, children and families, is for us to continue upholding our Snawayat in terms of supporting our children, our Smanam, to live a better life and to follow the footsteps of our ancestors.
By coming together, bringing history back, the way we were and who we were before. It takes a community to raise a child and to be, again, take that responsibility of looking after our own children.
My biggest dream is that we take over our own, looking after our own children. The parents having difficulties because they never got teachings handed down to them because they were in residential school. And it suffers. The children don't get any teachings because their parents didn't have it to give to them. Then the children are having children. Now we're into the third generation. No teachings because there's no teachings to pass down.
My biggest dream is to have our children stay in the care of their families.
I want the community to know that this law is being created for them. I want them to see themselves and their culture and their values and their ways of relating to one another and their family reflected in their law.
The emphasis is to move away from children being what they call apprehended or being removed from their family and being removed from community. This law is going to make it very difficult to do that. The law mandates that those children stay in the community. So it is going to make a difference in that regard.
You know, if our tribes take over the government for child and care, you know, that'd be important. Our people that they have would help the children more to get to know our culture. And there's a lot of them that are in child care and that don't really know our culture and even our language as well. You know, if they come back, if the band can do that, you know, that'd be better for the community and the children.
I've had a lot of nieces and nephews that are out there in the community and some that are far away. Like I've known from way back when I was being foster parent, and as soon as we found out that some children were taken in care, we just turned around, opened the door, let's go. We can't let them go out there. We need to teach them our way, make sure that they're safe.
There's too many children that are off reserve right now in foster care. It'd be great if they have them back on the reserve. Grandparents or aunties should be first to, you know, if the kids are taken away, especially at a young age or a newborn.
I think because of, with Lulmatos Manam, it's our own people. Whereas when it's the ministry, it's not our people. I think that would make a big difference. You know, somebody from our reserve or our people looking after us, helping guide us to have a healthier life.
My suggestion is that they be able to grow up with the native family if they get put into foster care with the natives, and that they'd be able to learn from our culture-wise.
I'm just happy that this is coming forward and that there's more cultural component in the laws that we're trying to bring forward. Too much of our culture has been left behind, left on the side. Not only that, we're putting our elders back in the driver's seat where they've been literally put in the back seat with no say. and today they're going to be able to voice the direction that we need to go.
But they're pretty strong people, our elders. And I think it's important to listen to them and hear them, what they have to say.
By bringing our families back together and keeping them together, keeping children in our communities, keeping all those connections of who we are will evolve and keep our community strong.
I think spending time with them is, with children, is the most important thing.
My biggest dream would be for families to stay together, to stay connected to their community, their culture, traditions, extended family, and that, we support them in whatever, struggles that they may be having.
I guess like my first curiosity would be, are we bringing children to the table? Are we bringing youth to the table? I think that, I think it's easy to talk about children's voices, but I would love to hear more children's voices.
Children's voices are so important in the decisions we make because it's their life that we're talking about. So we need to hear how they're feeling. What are their worries? What are their happiness? To try and make the whole process as comfortable and easy as possible so they don't feel disrupted.
The new way of doing things, as it's being said, isn't necessarily new in my perspective. It is a natural progression back to the way things used to be. We exist in a colonized way of doing things when it comes to child and family services. And by implementing this Cowichan law, to me it feels natural because we as Cowichan people have always taken care of each other and our own. So it's just, it's natural for me. And it's very exciting.
The law is crafted in a way that prevention is the primary objective. There will be an increase in terms of prevention services that will be available to all Cowichan Tribes members. They don't have to have children in care. There will be prevention opportunities to really build and strengthen families.
Prevention is a service that provides support to the community members in a setting where it's delivering programs and workshops and events, community engagements.
I would say it would be up to the elders to help the community and help the agency to go in the right direction. So looking at the elders to help them out.
I'd like to see teachings, because it was kind of taken away from us.
We receive our teachings from our elders. That's how we learn. And, as far as being from birth to growing up, I'd say that the elders' presence is important because, all children are watching, they're listening, and I think our elders just always have that ability to set us on the right path. They have a calming way of, sharing those teachings and leading us in the right direction and getting us on the right path.
We're accessing a lot of the ministry's resources and services in the community and not resources and services that have been created for specifically Cowichan members. So my hope would be that we get the opportunity to create Cowichan specific programming and incorporate culture.
What's needed most is given our children identity of who they are and to reconnect them with a culture that's so important to them. Because right now they don't have a connection and we need to reconnect them.
Family, and we see it on many posters, family's the heart of life. Family is our backbone. Family is who we are. It's our identity. It's where we come from.
We have always made decisions around children and families, and we will continue to make decisions around children and families because we are the best people to make those decisions.
You know, what's important in life is for our children is that a lot of connection with family members, even if you don't know who the family is. A lot of connection.
For our adults community, I think it would have them to understand that we need them to learn the culture, because the language and the culture go together. So that going together will be able to teach our younger children on how to move along safely and for them to learn and understand everything.
But it's really important to me for our children to have teachings. And everybody's different, you know. Everybody has their own teachings.
It's time for us to take our power back. We never rightfully gave anything away, and this is our community, our children, and we do know how to raise our children in a good, healthy way.
Just really exciting to be able to not have to look to the federal or provincial governments to say how we're going to look after our own children.
It's going to re-strengthen the family system that we were originally taught by our ancestors, and we're just reclaiming that and regaining it and making it powerful again.
Well, I think that it's time that that responsibility of looking after our own children comes back, because we had our own laws in the past where our elders looked after our children and took the whole community to look after our children, not just family. And I think that it's time that we took that back.
I think with Cowichan Tribes, trying to prevent children being removed is by having all the programs that they run, and being able to have it open to the community to be involved.
Our Snawaith and our Hulkamitnam language go hand in hand, and that is one way that we can continue to uplift the child and family service delivery for our people.
The saying we had growing up, takes a community to raise a child. And every family has an elder that they follow. That's what, when I look at what goes into this legislature, we're putting Indian laws in it. That's our Indian law. The elder runs the family, dictates what's going on. Family can't do anything without that elder's approval.
But we have to be committed that we're going to be looking after our own children. Why give them to strangers? Why should a stranger look after our family, and our babies, and our children? That they should be with their families. That's the way I feel about what I've seen over the years as being a social worker and working for Cowichan Tribes for how many years. And it's getting more difficult every year. But I think we're going to do it, and we're going to win, and we're going to have our own legislation.
Children belong with their community and their families. There's times when children can't remain with their mom and their dad, and so we always look to who in the family can care for the children, and we try to look at any possible family members, friends, anyone that could care for the children while the parent does the work that they need to do to have the children returned.
I think that that's really, as I said, the ultimate objective here is to bring our young people up in a way that will enable them to be successful and to be proud of who they are.
Seems like that's what we lack the most is the youngsters coming to talk to elders, to incorporate that. I think that's probably what the best way to do it,
My biggest dream would be for the kids and babies would be back with their parents or grandparents.
We just like to see the kids succeed, and so everybody should be looking for that goal when this is taken over.
I believe the LS workers they have a lot of our teachings already. They know our teachings, and I know some of them personally, and I know that they would bring that forward and make sure that there's healthy decisions made in the process of everything, and not just removing the kids and not saying anything to them of why.
To be able to bring back respect is to teach the children that they need to look after one another, to respect one another, to really feel that love. And our young parents need to be able to offer that to the children so that they know who they are, where they come from, and that they are loved and that they have somebody to go to if there is anything that they ever need.
And I'd like to see our kids in care being able to feel safe and more comfortable in our environment, and just know that we're all one family working together.
And we work really, really hard, and it's a very last resort to remove a child. It's the last thing that we want to do. We want to help the family heal and grow and move forward together as a unit and not separate.
I'm so against all that of how ministry looked at my mom and my aunties and my uncles as too old. And they're the ones that my kids listen to the most. I don't know how that can get fixed, or because they're all of our teachers. Our cultural ways is the only way my kids live by. All my kids. It makes so much more sense if Tribes takes over for jurisdiction, because they're so much help. They're the push I needed, because everyone's family orientated. All the children's well-being are taken into place. The kids, it's home everywhere in Tribes. You're not placed with strangers, you're not. The kids will be safe if there's meetings on where the kids go. It will make more sense because Tribes takes care of the kids' well-beings. And they know that's where the kids want to be. It will help so much more for all the younger kids because they know that they're with family and not just placed with just anyone.
I think need more housing for the children, the ones that take care of them. Need more housing for
the foster parents.
Foster parents, yes.
Because we're lacking housing here.
Again, I think it's just what's so important is recognizing that Cowichan has a strong history in our values of life. That's something that's it's not unique, but it's, it's important.
Culture is important in everything that we do, and it informs every piece of the social work and interactions with the families. So, we have the Sohuen committee, we talk about the teachings, our law is based on the teachings of love, respect, and they will be incorporated in all that we do.
It's also, you got to realize that it's not just what you want the kids to know, that you can go back to the old ways and teachings. It's the pain, the hurt, the sorrow, if the child is like into what's going on or what they're going to be following, or if they're too far gone, or if they even know about their tradition. Some don't. Like for me, my dad was really traditional, but I'm just slowly falling into some of my steps today, so.
Our children would be in being raised more fully with our cultural ways, where the Cowichan Tribes will have say in how we raise our kids, and we won't have to listen to how the government tells us how to raise them. We can enforce more traditional ways with our kids.
Do we want to see our kids taken away? We don't. And that's the reason why we say we can't allow this to continue going on. The government taking our kids from our community. They have no right doing that.
And I think that's what's important, that family need to stick together and watch each other and love each other and speak to each other especially.
We will always meet with a family in the community to ensure that they are included in the planning for the child. No one person can make planning for a child. It takes a whole family, a whole community to come together and make the best plan for the child. They don't stand alone in life, and they shouldn't stand alone in the planning.
I don't necessarily see that our community members would have doubt if they fully understand what we are taking on here. If anybody has doubt, I encourage them to come and talk to us and ask questions.
It's very important having control of our own community. We look at self-government where we need to go. We have to learn how to govern ourselves.
This is active decolonization in process, and Cowichan gets to lead the way. And we get to honor ourselves and honor our people and honor our families again.
I believe our elders have always known how to be a voice for our children, to lead us in the right direction when it comes to raising our children.
I just think, how do we create a law that captures like the love that moms have for kids, their children, the love that families have for their children, the importance of children understanding and knowing who they are and being proud of being Cowichan Misteema. I just think is so important. I think that is the thing that we should all be working towards. And so, it's a difficult process. It is challenging. It is very nuanced. There's lots of different things to think about, but it's so important that we cannot be scared to take that leap of faith.
There is a vote that will be coming up for the child and family legislation, and our Cowichan people are familiar with voting. And therefore, when the opportunity arises, we must ensure that we vote, and that we vote to support our future generations. The vote is very important because we are exercising our right to self-government.
After 156 years of colonial laws, our nation is voting to reclaim authority over our child and family services. Come vote for our law. Snawayas ta Cowichan Misteemo at ta Swalakwa I Smanam. The laws of the Cowichan people for families and children.